The cargo bay doors hissed shut behind Tae-young as he stepped onto the main deck of Station Meridian. His boots made soft thuds against the metal floor. He was tired. The supply run to the mining colony had taken 3 weeks, and all he wanted was a hot meal and his small apartment. Station Meridian was always busy. Aliens of every kind walked past him. Some had scales, others had fur. Some floated in containment bubbles filled with strange gases. Humans were still new here, only 20 years in the Galactic Union. Most aliens barely looked at him. He preferred it that way. Tae-young walked through the crowds toward the elevator that would take him to the residential sector. His stomach growled. He would stop at the noodle shop near his building. The owner, an old Korean woman named Mrs. Park, made the best kimchi jjigae on the station. It almost tasted like home. He turned down a side corridor, a shortcut through the lower district. The lights here were dimmer. Fewer people walked these paths. It was mostly storage units and old shops that nobody used anymore. The air smelled like oil and recycled oxygen. That was when he saw her. A small figure stood in the shadows of an alley between 2 closed shops. At first, Tae-young thought his eyes were playing tricks on him. The figure glowed softly in the darkness. Blue and purple light pulsed gently under pale skin. A Vellani child. She looked about 7 or 8 years old, though Tae-young was never sure how to judge alien ages. She wore clothes that were too big for her, torn at the edges. Her large eyes watched him carefully. Vellani eyes were striking. They took up half their face and seemed to see everything. Tae-young slowed his steps. The child did not run away. Instead, she took a small step forward. Her glow became brighter, more purple than blue. He remembered reading somewhere that Vellani skin changed color with their emotions. Purple meant nervous. Or maybe it was hope. He could not remember. The girl reached into her pocket. She pulled out something small and walked toward him. Tae-young stopped. His hand moved instinctively toward his belt where he kept a small stunner for emergencies. But this was just a child. A small, glowing child who looked scared. She stopped a few feet away from him. In her hand was a crumpled piece of paper. Money. A 5-credit note. She held it out to him. "Please, mister," she said. Her voice was soft, barely above a whisper. She spoke Universal Standard, the common language of the station, but her accent was thick. "I need to hire a father. Just for 1 day." Tae-young stared at her. He must have heard wrong. "What did you say?" The girl's glow dimmed. Her big eyes looked down at the ground. "A father," she repeated. "I need one for tomorrow. Just 1 day. I have 5 credits. Is that enough?" He should walk away. This was strange. It was probably some kind of scam. But something made him stay. Maybe it was the way she held that money, like it was the most valuable thing in the world. Maybe it was the sadness in her voice. "Why do you need a father for 1 day?" he asked. The girl looked up at him. Her glow shifted to a deep blue. Sadness, he thought. That one he remembered. Blue was sadness. "Tomorrow is Family Recognition Day at my school," she said. "All the children bring their families. If you do not have a family, they write it down. It goes in your permanent record. When you grow up, nobody wants to hire you or be your friend. You become nothing." Tae-young felt something twist in his chest. "Where are your parents?" "My mother died 6 months ago," the girl said. Her voice did not shake. She said it like she was reading from a report. "There was an accident in the docking bay. A cargo container fell. My father left us 3 years before that. He went to find work on another station. He never came back." "I am sorry," Tae-young said. The words felt useless. The girl shook her head. "I do not need sorry. I need a father. Just for tomorrow. You are human, yes? Humans can pretend, right? You can come to my school and stand with me. You do not have to say much. Just be there. Then it will be over, and I can give you the 5 credits. What is your name?" he asked. "Hana," she said. Tae-young looked at this small alien child named Hana. She stood there with her 5 credits trying to buy 1 day of having a family. It was the saddest thing he had seen in a long time, and he had seen a lot of sad things. 5 years ago, his daughter Ji-woo had died in a colony accident. She was 9 years old. His wife could not handle the grief. She passed away a year later. The doctors said it was heart failure, but Tae-young knew the truth. She died of a broken heart. Since then he had been running. From star to star, station to station, never staying anywhere long. He took cargo jobs that kept him in space for weeks at a time. It was easier that way. No attachments. No memories. No pain, but this child. This glowing child with her 5 credits and her big sad eyes. She reminded him of something. Of someone. Put your money away, Tae-young said. Hana's glow dimmed even more. She thought he was refusing. She started to back away. I will do it, he said quickly. But I do not want your money. Hana stopped. Her glow suddenly became bright. So bright that Tae-young had to squint. Yellow and white light pulsed under her skin. Joy, he realized. That was joy. Really? She asked. You will come tomorrow? Yes, he said. He had no idea what he was agreeing to, but the words came out anyway. What time? The ceremony starts at noon, Hana said. She was practically bouncing now. But can you meet me in the morning? At the cafe near the Villani district? There are things you need to know about our customs, so you do not make mistakes. All right, Tae-young said. 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock, Hana repeated. She looked at him for a long moment as if she was afraid he might disappear. Then she said something that made his throat tight. Thank you, mister. My name is Hana. What is yours? Tae-young, he said. Tae-young, she repeated carefully, trying to get the pronunciation right. Thank you, Tae-young. You do not know what this means to me. Before he could respond, she turned and ran down the alley. Her glow faded as she disappeared into the darkness. Tae-young stood there for a long time, staring at the empty space where she had been. What had he just agreed to? He started walking again, slower this time. His mind was spinning. He did not know anything about Villani culture. He had barely spoken to a Villani before, and now he was supposed to pretend to be one's father? But he had said yes, and something told him he could not back out now. That little girl had probably spent months saving those 5 credits. She had stood in that dark alley, gathering the courage to approach a stranger. She had asked for help, and he had said yes. Tae-young reached his apartment building. He rode the elevator up to the 8th floor. His apartment was small and empty. 1 room, a bed, a table, a small kitchen. No decorations, no photos, nothing that reminded him of before. He sat on his bed and put his head in his hands. He thought about Jiwoo. She would have been 14 now. She would have been in high school, complaining about homework and boys and all the normal things teenagers complained about. She would have liked Hana, he thought. Jiwoo had always wanted to meet aliens when they joined the Galactic Union. She had studied all their languages, their cultures. She would have been fascinated by the Villani. Tae-young lay back on his bed. Tomorrow he would meet Hana at the cafe. He would learn about Villani customs. He would go to her school and stand beside her for 1 day. Then it would be over, and he could go back to his cargo runs and his empty apartment 1 day. That was all she needed. He could do 1 day. But as he closed his eyes, he could not shake the image of Hana's glowing face, full of hope and gratitude. He could not shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, this 1 day would change everything. Tae-young woke up early. He had not slept well. All night he kept thinking about what he had agreed to do. He showered and put on his cleanest shirt. It was dark blue, simple. He looked at himself in the mirror. He looked tired, old. He was only 43, but grief had aged him. The cafe was a small place at the edge of the Villani district. When Tae-young arrived at 9 o'clock, Hana was already there. She sat at a corner table, her small hands wrapped around a cup of something that steamed. Her glow was soft and pink this morning. Content, he guessed. She saw him and waved. Her glow brightened to yellow. You came, she said as he sat down. She sounded surprised. I said I would, Tae-young replied. Hana smiled. It was a small smile, like she was still learning how to do it again. She pushed a datapad across the table. I made notes. About what you need to know. I worked on it all night. Tae-young picked up the datapad. The screen was filled with neat handwriting. She had organized everything into sections. Villani greetings. Proper ways to stand during the ceremony. Things he should not say. Things he should say if someone asked questions. You did all this? He asked. I have been planning for 2 months, Hana said. I knew I would need help. I knew I could not go alone. So I saved money and made notes and practiced what to say. You were the 5th person I asked. What happened with the other 4? Tae-young asked, though he thought he knew the answer. They said no, Hana said simply. Her glow dimmed a little. 2 of them laughed. 1 told me to go away. 1 said he would do it for 50 credits. I only have 5. Tae-young felt anger rise in his chest. What kind of people would laugh at a child asking for help? But he pushed the anger down. That was not what Hana needed right now. Let us go through your notes, he said. They spent the next hour reviewing everything. Hana was thorough. She explained that Villani families stood in a specific way during ceremonies, parents behind their children with hands on their shoulders. She explained that if someone asked about his work, he should keep it simple. Cargo pilot was good. It was honest. What if they ask why I adopted you? Tae-young asked. A human adopting a Villani child. That must be unusual. Hana's glow turned purple, nervous. It is very unusual, she admitted. Most Villani think cross-species adoption is wrong. They say children should stay with their own kind. But I thought, maybe if they see a human treating a Villani child well, they might think differently. You thought about this a lot, Tae-young said. I have had a lot of time to think, Hana said. At the orphanage, there is not much else to do. Tell me about the orphanage, Tae-young said. Hana looked down at her cup. It is crowded. 30 children in one room. We sleep on mats on the floor. The food is not good. But we get food, so that is something. The caretakers are not mean, but they are not nice either. They just do their job. What about school? He asked. I go when I can, Hana said. Sometimes they make us work instead. Cleaning or sorting recycling. The orphanage needs money, so we help earn it. But I like school. I am good at math and science. My teacher says I could be an engineer someday, if I can finish school. There was something in the way she said that last part. A sadness. A doubt. Why would you not finish school? Tae-young asked. Hana was quiet for a moment. Her glow turned dark blue. When you turn 10 and nobody adopts you, they send you to work camps. On mining colonies or factory stations. They say it is to teach us skills, but everyone knows the truth. The work is hard, dangerous. Most kids do not make it past 15. Tae-young felt cold. How old are you? 7, Hana said. I have 3 years. Maybe someone will adopt me before then. That is why today is so important. If the families at school see me with a father, even a pretend one, maybe one of them will consider me. Maybe I will have a chance, Tae-young understood now. This was not just about one ceremony. This was about survival. This was about a 7-year-old child fighting for her life in the only way she knew how. Tell me about your mother, he said gently. Hana's glow flickered. For a moment, Tae-young thought she would not answer. Then she spoke, her voice very quiet. She worked in the docking bay, loading cargo. It was hard work, but she never complained. She always said we would be okay, that someday things would get better. Hana paused. She used to sing to me at night. Villani lullabies. I try to remember them, but I forget the words sometimes. What happened the day she died? Tae-young asked. A cargo container was not secured properly. The magnetic locks failed. It fell. She was underneath. Hana said this without emotion, like she was reading from a report. They told me it was instant. She did not suffer. I do not know if that is true, but I hope it is. Tae-young knew that tone. It was the tone of someone who had cried so much they had no tears left. He had used that tone himself when talking about Jiwoo. My daughter died in an accident too, he said. 5 years ago. She was 9. Hana looked up at him. Her big eyes were very bright. What was her name? Jiwoo, Tae-young said. It was the first time he had said her name out loud in months. It hurt, but it also felt right. Jiwoo, Hana repeated softly. That is a pretty name. What was she like? Tae-young found himself talking about how Jiwoo loved to read, how she wanted to be a xenobiologist and study alien life, how she had a laugh that could light up a room. He talked about his wife, about how she had never recovered from losing their daughter. Hana listened to every word. She did not interrupt. She just listened with a focus that seemed beyond her years. When he finished, Hana said something that made his throat tight. Maybe Jiwoo sent you to me, she said. My mother used to say that the people we love never really leave us. They find ways to help us from wherever they are. Maybe Jiwoo knew I needed a father, even if just for one day. Maybe she sent you. Tae-young did not believe in such things. He was a practical man. But hearing this small alien child speak about his daughter with such gentle certainty made something shift inside him. Maybe she did, he said quietly. They sat in comfortable silence for a while. Then Hana looked at the time. We should go shopping, she said. The ceremony is formal. I need proper clothes. But I do not have money for that. I spent everything on finding you. I have money, Tae-young said. We will get you proper clothes. I cannot ask you to pay, Hana protested. You are already doing so much. You did not ask, Tae-young said. I am offering. If I am going to be your father for a day, we are going to do this, right? Hana's glow turned bright yellow again. Joy. Thank you, she whispered. They went to a shop in the Villani district that sold traditional clothing. The shopkeeper, an elderly Villani woman, eyed Tae-young suspiciously at first. A human in a Villani clothing shop was unusual, but when Hana explained they needed a formal dress for the ceremony, the woman's expression softened. She brought out several options. Hana tried them on, her glow shifting colors with each dress. Finally, she found one she loved. It was pale blue with silver threads that caught the light. It made her glow seem even brighter. This one, Hana said, looking at herself in the mirror. Is it too expensive? Tae-young looked at the price. It was reasonable. It is perfect, he said. When the shopkeeper wrapped the dress, Hana held it like it was made of glass. As they walked back to the cafe, she kept touching the package like she needed to make sure it was real. Nobody has ever bought me new clothes before, she said. Even my mother could only afford used things. This is the first new dress I have ever owned. Then she stopped walking and looked up at him. Tears were running down her glowing cheeks. Not sad tears. Happy tears, thank you, she said. Thank you for being kind to me. Tae-young knelt down so he was at her level. Without thinking, he reached out and gently wiped her tears away. You are welcome, Hana, he said. I will see you tomorrow at noon. She nodded and ran off, clutching her new dress. Tae-young watched her go. Something had changed. This was not just a favor anymore. This was not just helping a stranger for one day. This was starting to matter. The morning of the ceremony, Tae-young woke up nervous. He put on his best clothes, a dark suit he had not worn in years. It still fit barely. He looked at himself in the mirror and wondered if he looked like a father. He had not felt like one in a very long time. Hana was waiting for him outside the school building. She wore the blue dress and it looked beautiful on her. Her glow was bright and steady, a mix of yellow and pink. She looked happy but also terrified. You came, she said again like she still could not believe it. Of course I came, Tae-young said. Are you ready? Hana took a deep breath. I am ready. They walked into the school together. The building was in the Villani cultural sector, designed for their people. The ceilings were lower than human buildings, and the walls glowed softly with bioluminescent panels. Everything was rounded, smooth, comfortable. The ceremony hall was huge. Hundreds of Villani families filled the space. Parents stood with their children, all dressed in formal clothes. The children's glows were bright and cheerful. The adults talked quietly among themselves. Everyone turned to look when Tae-young entered. He was the only human in the room. Whispers spread through the crowd. Tae-young felt their eyes on him. Some looked curious. Others looked disapproving. A few looked angry. He felt Hana's hand slip into his. Her glow had dimmed to a nervous purple. It is okay, he whispered to her. We are here together. Her glow brightened a little. They found seats near the back. Other families gave them space like they were worried about sitting too close. Tae-young noticed a few children staring at Hana, not friendly stares. One boy whispered something to his parents and laughed. Hana's glow dimmed even more. The ceremony began. An elderly Villani walked to the front of the hall. He wore elaborate robes and carried a staff that glowed bright white. This must be one of the elders Hana had mentioned. Master Daejung. Master Daejung spoke in the Villani language first. Tae-young could not understand it, but he heard the reverence in the elder's voice. Then Master Daejung switched to universal standard so everyone could understand. Today we celebrate family, Master Daejung said. We celebrate the bonds that hold us together. The bonds of blood, of tradition, of love. Each child will come forward with their family to be recognized by the community. One by one, families walked to the front. The children stood proud while their parents placed hands on their shoulders. Master Daejung spoke a blessing over each family. The hall filled with applause after each presentation. Tae-young watched Hana as the ceremony continued. Her glow changed colors with each family, sometimes green, which he thought might be envy, sometimes blue, which was definitely sadness. She was seeing what she did not have, what she might never have. Finally, it was their turn. A teacher called Hana's name. The whispers grew louder. Every eye in the room turned to watch them. Hana stood up. Her legs were shaking. Tae-young stood with her and put his hand on her shoulder, just like they had practiced. Together they walked to the front of the hall. The walk felt like it took forever. Tae-young could feel the weight of judgment from every direction. But he kept his head up. He would not let Hana see him falter. They reached the front. Master Daejung looked at them with an expression Tae-young could not read. The elder's eyes moved from Hana to Tae-young and back again. "Introduce your family child," Master Daejung said. Hana's voice was small at first. "This is Tae-young. He is my father. He is human, from Earth. He works as a cargo pilot on the station." The whispers grew louder. Someone in the crowd said something in Villani that sounded harsh. Master Daejung raised his hand for silence. "A human father," Master Daejung said. "This is most unusual. Tell us, child, how did this human come to be your father?" Hana hesitated. They had not prepared for this question. Tae-young squeezed her shoulder gently. She looked up at him, then back at Master Daejung. "I asked him," Hana said. Her voice was stronger now. "I needed a father, so I asked him. And he said yes." More whispers. Master Daejung's expression remained neutral. "And why did you need to ask a stranger? Where is your birth father?" "He left us," Hana said. "My mother is dead. I have no one. But Tae-young said he would be here for me." "And he is." Master Daejung turned to Tae-young. "And you, human, why would you agree to this? You must know that cross-species adoption is rare. Many of our people find it inappropriate." Tae-young felt all the eyes in the room on him. He could walk away now. Make an excuse. Let Hana face the consequences alone. It would be easier, but he looked down at Hana. At her scared face, her dimming glow. He thought about Jiwoo, about what she would want him to do. He stepped forward. "I need to be honest," Tae-young said. His voice carried through the silent hall. "I am not Hana's biological father. I met her 3 days ago. She offered me 5 credits to pretend to be her father for today." Gasps filled the room. Hana's glow turned dark blue. She thought he was going to ruin everything. But Tae-young kept talking. "I said yes because I understand what it is like to lose everything. 5 years ago my daughter died. She was 9 years old. My wife died a year after that from grief. I have been alone since then, running from my pain." The hall was completely silent now. When Hana asked me for help, I saw something in her eyes. I saw my daughter. I saw a child who needs someone to stand beside her, to believe in her, to fight for her. And I realized that family is not just about blood or species. It is about showing up. It is about being there when someone needs you. Tae-young's voice grew stronger. Humans believe that every child deserves someone who will protect them, who will give them hope, who will tell them that they matter. Hana matters. She is smart, brave, and kind. She spent 2 months planning this, saving every credit she could find just to have one day where she belonged. He looked around at all the Villani families. "I know I am just a human. I know I do not understand all your traditions. But I understand this. A child should not have to buy a father for one day. A child should not have to beg strangers for help. A child should have someone who will stand beside them, always." Tae-young put both hands on Hana's shoulders. "If your people will not stand for this child, then I will. Today, tomorrow, for as long as she needs me." The silence stretched. Tae-young did not know if he had made things better or worse. He just knew he had told the truth. Then Master Daejung did something unexpected. He bowed his head. "You speak with great wisdom, human," the elder said. "Perhaps we Villani have forgotten what family truly means. We have hidden behind tradition while children like Hana suffer alone." Master Daejung turned to face the crowd. "This human has shown us something important. Family is not about rules or species. It is about love, about commitment, about choosing to stand beside someone even when it is difficult." The elder placed his hand on Hana's head. "I recognize this family." Master Daejung said, "May you walk together in light." There was a moment of hesitation. Then slowly applause began. Not everyone clapped. Some families still looked angry or confused. But enough people clapped that it filled the hall. Hana looked up at Tae-young. Her glow was so bright now that it almost hurt to look at. Bright white and gold. "Pure joy, you really meant it," she whispered. "You really want to be my father." Tae-young realized that yes, he did mean it. Somewhere in the last 3 days this had become real. "Yes," he said, "I really do." They walked back to their seats together. This time the whispers were different, softer, more thoughtful. A few families even smiled at them as they passed. After the ceremony ended, several people approached them. Some wanted to ask questions. Others wanted to offer congratulations. A few Villani parents pulled Tae-young aside and asked quietly about the adoption process. They had orphaned relatives, they said. Children who needed homes. But one person stood apart from the crowd, watching with a dark expression. A Villani woman in an official uniform. She waited until most people had left, then walked over to them. That was quite a speech, the woman said. Her tone was not friendly. Who are you? Tae-young asked. Captain Mirai, Station Security. She looked at Hana. Can I speak with you privately, Mr. Tae-young? Anything you say to me, you can say in front of Hana, Tae-young said. Captain Mirai sighed. Fine. You should know that Hana's situation is more complicated than she probably told you. She is 7 years old now. In 3 days, she turns 8. When orphaned Villani children turn 8 without being adopted, they are transferred to labor camps. Tae-young felt ice in his stomach. 3 days? 3 days, Captain Mirai confirmed. The transport is already scheduled. Unless you were serious about what you said in there, unless you really want to adopt her. Tae-young looked at Hana. She was staring at the ground, her glow dark blue again. I was serious, Tae-young said. How do I adopt her? Captain Mirai's expression softened slightly. You will need legal help. Cross-species adoption requires approval from both the Villani Council and Human Colonial Administration. It usually takes months. You have 3 days. Then I better get started, Tae-young said. Tae-young did not sleep that night. He sat at his small kitchen table with his communicator, calling everyone he knew who might be able to help. Most people told him it was impossible. 3 days was not enough time. The bureaucracy alone would take weeks. But then he remembered Bora. Bora was an old friend from his colony days. She had become a lawyer specializing in interspecies law. If anyone could help, it would be her. He sent her a message explaining everything. He did not expect a response until morning. She called back in 10 minutes. Tae-young, Bora's voice was serious. What you are asking is nearly impossible. Nearly, he said. Not completely. You are really serious about this? About adopting an alien child you met 3 days ago? Yes, Tae-young said. I am completely serious. There was silence on the other end. Then Bora sighed. Okay, send me everything you have. Birth records, death certificates for her parents, orphanage records, everything. I will start building the case. But Tae-young, you need to understand something. What? These labor camps she's being sent to? They are legal. The Villani government runs them. They say it is job training for orphans. But everyone knows the truth. The conditions are terrible. Most children do not survive past 15. Tae-young felt sick. Why does the Galactic Union allow this? Because each species makes its own laws. The Union does not interfere unless there is proof of direct harm. And the Villani hide the evidence well. They call it education. Cultural tradition. But it is slavery dressed up in nice words. Then we stop it, Tae-young said. For Hana, and for every other child in those camps. One thing at a time, Bora said. First, we save Hana. Send me those documents. I will meet you tomorrow morning. Tae-young spent the rest of the night gathering every piece of information he could find. Medical records, school reports, witness statements about her mother's death. He barely noticed when the sun started to rise. At 8 in the morning, he went to see Hana at the orphanage. The building was gray and cold. Paint peeled from the walls. The smell of too many people in too small a space hung in the air. Hana was waiting in the common room. When she saw him, her glow brightened, but it dimmed again when she saw his face. You know, she said quietly. About the camp. Yes, Tae-young said. Why did you not tell me? Hana looked down. Because then you would have felt sorry for me. I did not want pity. I just wanted one good day. One day where I could pretend I had a family. Then I could go to the camp with that memory. It would be enough. Tae-young knelt down in front of her. I am not going to let them send you to that camp. You cannot stop it, Hana said. It is the law. Then we will change the law. Or break it if we have to. But you are not going to that camp. Do you understand? Tears ran down Hana's glowing cheeks. Why are you doing this? You do not have to. You already gave me my day. You already did more than anyone else ever has. Because you matter, Hana. Because I meant what I said at the ceremony. You deserve someone who will fight for you, and I am going to fight. For the next 2 days, Tae-young barely slept. He worked with Bora to build their case. They gathered evidence about the labor camps, death records, medical reports showing injuries and malnutrition, testimony from adults who had survived the camps as children. The evidence was horrifying. Children worked 18-hour days in dangerous conditions. They handled toxic materials without protection. They operated heavy machinery they were too small to control safely. And when they got hurt or sick, they received minimal medical care. "This is going to work," Bora said as they reviewed their case. "The Villani Council cannot ignore this evidence. We can prove that sending Hana to the camp violates Galactic Union humanitarian standards." "When is the hearing?" Tae-young asked. "Tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. The transport for the camp leaves at noon. If we do not win, she will be on that transport." Tae-young nodded. He did not let himself think about what would happen if they lost. He could not. That night he visited Hana one last time before the hearing. She was quiet, her glow dim and gray. "Are you scared?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "What if it does not work? What if they still send me away?" "Then I will come get you," Tae-young said. "I do not care if it is legal or not. I will come to that camp and bring you home." "You would do that? Even if it meant breaking the law?" "Yes," Tae-young said without hesitation. "I would do that." Hana's glow brightened a little. "You really are my father now, are you not?" "Yes," Tae-young said. "I really am." The next morning, the Villani Council chambers were packed. News of the hearing had spread. Dozens of people came to watch. Some were supporters. Others came hoping to see the human fail. The council consisted of 5 elders, including Master Daejung. They sat at a high table looking down at everyone. Elder Kyung-soo, the most conservative member, looked particularly hostile. Bora stood and presented their case. She was brilliant, laying out the evidence methodically. She showed the death rates, the injury reports, the testimonies. She argued that sending Hana to the camp would violate her basic rights as a sentient being. Elder Kyung-soo interrupted her repeatedly. "This is how we have always done things," he said. "Orphaned children must contribute to society. It builds character, makes them strong. It kills them," Bora shot back. 60% of children sent to these camps die before age 16. That is not character building. That is murder. The chamber erupted in arguments. Some people supported Bora. Others defended the camps. The elders called for order. "What is your proposal?" another elder asked Bora. "Even if we agree the camps are problematic, what is your alternative?" "Tae-young wishes to adopt Hana," Bora said. "Immediately. He has stable employment, adequate housing, and a genuine commitment to her welfare." "A human raising a Villani child?" Elder Kyung-soo scoffed. "Ridiculous. The child needs to learn our ways, our culture. A human cannot provide that." "What ways?" Tae-young stood up. He had not planned to speak, but anger pushed the words out. "The way where orphans are thrown away? The way where children die in camps because it is tradition? Maybe Hana does not need those ways." "How dare you?" Elder Kyung-soo said. "You know nothing of our culture." "I know that Hana matters," Tae-young said. "I know that she deserves to live, to grow up, to have a chance at a future. If your culture says otherwise, then your culture is wrong." The room went silent. No one spoke to the council like that. Then Master Daejung spoke. "Perhaps the human is right to challenge us," the elder said slowly. "I have been investigating these labor camps for some time now. What I found disturbs me greatly." Master Daejung pulled up a holographic display. Documents appeared in the air. Financial records. "The orphanage directors receive payments for every child sent to the camps," Master Daejung said. "The camp operators are making enormous profits from child labor. This is not about tradition. This is about money." Shocked whispers filled the chamber. Even Elder Kyung-soo looked surprised. "I propose we suspend all camp transfers pending a full investigation," Master Daejung said. "And I propose we approve this adoption. Let us see if perhaps this human can teach us something about caring for our own children." "I second that proposal," another elder said immediately. Elder Kyung-soo looked furious, but he was outnumbered. The vote was called. 4 elders voted yes. Only Elder Kyung-soo voted no. The adoption was approved. Tae-young felt like he could not breathe. He looked at Hana. She was glowing so bright that everyone had to shield their eyes. Pure white light, brighter than he had ever seen. She ran to him and threw her arms around his waist. He picked her up, holding her tight. "You did it," she whispered. "You really did it." "We did it," Tae-young said. "Together." But Master Daejung raised his hand. "There is one condition," the elder said. Tae-young must remain on Station Meridian for at least 1 year. Hana must have access to Vellani cultural resources and education. We need to ensure she maintains connection to her heritage. It meant giving up his cargo runs, his nomadic life, everything he had used to cope with his grief. Tae-young looked at Hana in his arms, at her hopeful, glowing face. "I accept," he said without hesitation. The crowd erupted in applause. Some people were crying. Others were cheering. Bora was grinning. As they left the council chambers, Hana held Tae-young's hand tightly. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now?" Tae-young smiled. "Now we go home." "Home," Hana repeated. Her glow was soft and golden. "I like the sound of that." The formal adoption ceremony took place 1 week later. It was smaller than the school ceremony, but somehow more meaningful. The room was filled with both humans and Vellani. Master Daejung presided over the ceremony, blending traditions from both cultures. Hana wore a traditional white Vellani robe. Tae-young wore a dark suit with a blue tie that matched her glow. They stood together before the assembly while Master Daejung spoke the ancient words. "Do you, Hana, accept this human as your father? To respect him, learn from him, and walk beside him through all of life's challenges?" "I do," Hana said. Her voice was clear and strong. Then she added something in Korean, words she had been practicing for days. "Yes, father. I accept you." Tae-young felt tears in his eyes. She had learned Korean for him. Master Daejung turned to him. "And do you, Tae-young, accept this child as your daughter? To protect her, guide her, and love her as your own?" "I do," Tae-young said. "With all my heart." Master Daejung placed his hands on both their heads. "Then by the authority of the Vellani Council and the Human Colonial Administration, I declare you father and daughter. May you walk together in light." The room erupted in applause. Bora was crying openly. Captain Mireille, who had come to support them, smiled and nodded her approval. Even some of the skeptical Vellani families who had doubted them were clapping. After the ceremony, they moved Hana's few belongings from the orphanage to Tae-young's apartment. She did not have much. Some clothes, a few books, and a small stuffed animal that had belonged to her mother. The apartment suddenly felt different with Hana there. Less empty, less lonely. She explored every corner, touching everything carefully like she was afraid it might disappear. "This is your room," Tae-young said, showing her the small second bedroom he had hastily converted. He had bought a bed, a desk, and some colorful blankets. It was simple, but he had tried to make it welcoming. Hana stood in the doorway, her glow flickering through different colors. "My room," she whispered. "I have never had my own room before." She walked in slowly, then sat on the bed. She bounced a little, testing it. Then she lay down and stared at the ceiling. "It is soft," she said. "At the orphanage we slept on thin mats. This is so soft." Tae-young sat on the edge of the bed. "We will make it better. You can decorate however you want. We can get posters, shelves for your books, whatever you need. Can we get a plant?" Hana asked. "A real one that grows?" "Of course," Tae-young said. "We can go to the station gardens tomorrow and pick one out." That night they had dinner together at the small kitchen table. Tae-young had ordered takeout from Mrs. Park's noodle shop. The old woman had heard about the adoption and sent extra food, along with a note congratulating them. Hana ate slowly, savoring every bite. "This is good," she said. "What is it called?" "Kimchi jjigae," Tae-young said. "Korean stew. My wife used to make it. Not as good as hers, but Mrs. Park comes close." "Tell me about her," Hana said. "About your wife. And Jiwoo. I want to know about them." So Tae-young talked. He told her about meeting his wife in college, about their wedding, about the joy when Jiwoo was born. He showed Hana photographs on his communicator. Pictures he had not looked at in years. Hana studied each photo carefully. "Jiwoo had a beautiful smile," she said. "She looks happy." She was, Tae-young said. "She loved life. She loved people. She would have loved you." "Do you think she would be okay with this?" Hana asked quietly. "With you adopting me? I do not want her to think I am trying to replace her." Tae-young felt his throat tighten. This child who had lost so much was worried about the feelings of someone she had never met. "You are not replacing anyone," he said gently. "Jiwoo will always be my daughter, always. And you are my daughter too. Both things can be true. Love does not run out. It grows." Hana's glow turned soft and golden. "I like that," she said. "Love grows." The next few weeks were an adjustment. Tae-young had found a job as a maintenance engineer on the station. It was steady work with regular hours, something he had avoided for years, but it meant he could be home every evening for Hana. Hana enrolled in a mixed-species school. For the first time, she could focus on learning without worrying about her next meal or where she would sleep. Her teachers were amazed by her intelligence. She was years ahead in math and science. They established routines, breakfast together every morning. Tae-young would make toast and eggs while Hana prepared her school materials. They would eat and talk about the day ahead. In the evenings, they did homework together at the kitchen table. Tae-young helped with subjects he knew. For things he did not understand, they learned together. Hana was patient when explaining alien concepts that were completely new to him. On weekends, they explored the station. They visited the gardens where Hana chose a small flowering plant for her room. They went to the observation deck and looked at the stars. They ate at different restaurants, trying foods from various alien cultures, but it was not always easy. Hana had nightmares sometimes. She would wake up crying, her glow flickering and unstable. Tae-young would sit with her, holding her hand until she calmed down. "I dreamed I was back at the orphanage," she would say. "I dreamed you never came, that I went to the camp." "You are safe now," Tae-young would tell her. "I am here. I am not going anywhere." Slowly, the nightmares became less frequent. Word of their story spread beyond the station. Other humans began asking about adopting orphaned alien children. A human couple named Sunwoo and his wife adopted a Villani boy. A woman named Yuna took in 2 Threxian siblings whose parents had died in a mining accident. The Villani Council, pushed by Master Daejung and the evidence of corruption, began reforming the orphanage system. They shut down the labor camps and arrested several officials who had been profiting from child labor. Master Daejung visited Tae-young and Hana one evening. The old elder looked tired but satisfied. "You have started something important," Master Daejung said. "Because of you, we are changing laws that have been in place for centuries. We are finally protecting our children." "It was not just me," Tae-young said. "It was Hana. She was brave enough to ask for help." Master Daejung smiled at Hana. "Indeed, you are a remarkable child. Your mother would be proud." Hana's glow brightened. "Do you think so?" "I am certain of it," the elder said. 6 months after the adoption, Hana brought home her report card. Perfect marks in every subject. She had also been selected for an advanced science program. "Look," she said, showing Tae-young the acceptance letter. "They want me to join the junior engineering track. I could start learning real spacecraft design." "That is amazing," Tae-young said. "What do you want to do?" "I want to build better orphanages," Hana said. "On every station, every colony. Places where children feel safe and loved, where they have their own rooms and soft beds and enough food, so no one has to be scared like I was." Tae-young pulled her into a hug. "You are going to change the galaxy." "We are going to change it," Hana corrected. "Together." That night, as Tae-young tucked Hana into her soft bed, she looked up at him with her big, glowing eyes. "Dad?" she said. It was the first time she had called him that instead of using his name. "Yes? Do you remember when I offered you 5 credits? To be my father for one day?" "I remember," Tae-young said. "That was the best deal I ever made," Hana said. "Even though you never took the money. Even though you gave me forever instead of one day," Tae-young smiled. "It was the best deal I ever made, too." Hana's glow softened to a warm, peaceful pink. "I love you, Dad." "I love you too, Hana," Tae-young said. "Now and always." He turned off the light and started to leave, but Hana called him back. "Will you sing to me?" she asked. "My mother used to sing Villani lullabies, but I cannot remember them anymore. Do humans have lullabies?" Tae-young thought for a moment. Then he began to sing softly in Korean. It was a lullaby his own mother had sung to him, and that he had sung to Ji-woo. Hana's eyes closed. Her glow dimmed to a soft, sleepy blue. By the time he finished the song, she was asleep. Tae-young stood in the doorway for a long time, watching his daughter sleep. 5 years ago, he had lost everything. He had been empty, broken, running from his pain. Then a small alien girl had offered him 5 credits and asked him to be her father for one day. That one day had become forever. And forever, Tae-young realized, was exactly what he needed. He had not replaced Ji-woo or his wife. He had honored them by opening his heart again, by choosing to love when it would have been easier to stay closed off. As he closed Hana's door and walked to his own room, Tae-young felt something he had not felt in 5 years. Peace. He was home. Finally, truly home. And in the next room, wrapped in soft blankets and dreaming peaceful dreams, so was Hana.